Hi, I'm Cheryl. I wrote this book, Madness on the Brink of Eco-Apocalypse. Why? Because humans are destroying Earth's life support systems in a whole lot of awful ways and doing it pretty darn fast. Killing off our biodiversity, polluting everywhere with plastic, destabilizing the climate. I just couldn't understand why aren't we doing more to save ourselves? So I looked around and I found some people and some groups who are doing something. In this video series, we are here to find out what they are up to inspire the rest of us to do more. Because we sure can't wait for the government, the megacorps, or the oligarchs to do it for us. We are here to save ourselves. Today, I am thrilled to say that we are chatting with Tanita, or Mama T as she is known in the project. She's a wellness advocate, a retreat facilitator, speaker, community strategist whose work bridges ancestral wisdom with holistic heart-centered practice. Today, we're here to talk about her special project, which is building a library for children in Ghana. Welcome, Tanita.
Thank you. Hi, Cheryl. How's it going?
Good. Our first question here is always to touch a bit of grass, so to speak. So if we were to look beyond that wall behind you, what would we see outside, nature-wise, where you are?
Oh, wow. There's a big old green field with my eco garden on the right, and the lake is right there sitting out. And you can look up in the sky and see, I call it the show
Oh,
every day,
very
which is,
nice.
God's and Goddesses amazing, the most spectacular show, on the planet.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, Tanita, I'm really excited to hear about this project. I've heard you mention it, and I honestly don't know a lot about it yet myself. So, please tell us about the library you're building.
Well, I have to start with I've been traveling to Ghana, back and forth to Ghana since 2017. And I've been going back and forth retreats, taking people back and forth to Ghana, in particular, um, African diasporic women and men, children who need to make connection, reclaim themselves, restoration, reclamation, rejuvenation, in a space, Ghana, where we explore the cultural and healing arts in that way. It's a way for me to kind of combine all the things that are important to me, which is my culture, tradition, heritage, movement and healing, and all the healing modalities that I've studied over the years, and sharing them with other people, and retreats and travel. I love to travel, and going back what I call home, to Ghana is one of the ways that it's been healing for me and for others in the community. And this project came out of, every time I go, I teach and I learn. So I learn from the cultural and healing arts, the dance and drummers there in Ghana, and we share and exchange. And the youth are like my greatest teachers there. And they have a cultural and healing arts, kind of performing arts camp there. And it's an amazing space. And I asked them, what do they need? And they said, we need a library, because
Mm.
when school could like just cut out at any moment. It can be disruptive sometimes. It's not always consistent, and when it's like that, that break causes confusion for the children, and they need a space where it can continue even when school is shut down, for whatever reasons, political reasons, ecological reasons, all kinds of things. And so environmental. And so I said, well, how much will it cost? And they said kind of around, it was like $5,000, which I knew, 5,000 US dollars, which, well, I knew it would probably be double or maybe triple that. But even still at that point, I said, wow, even if it's 10,000 or $15,000, that's something I can do. I mean, to build something in America for $10,000 to $15,000 is like, a front door and maybe a little piece of, I don't know, stucco somewhere. But here, I could help bring forth, actual foundation with some walls and some pipes and some electricity and some books. and maybe a few sewing machines and other kinds of things that they can use to
Oh,
just add on into the community. And so, um, yeah, and to be a part of their experience. And so I say, yes, I got to do this. I know I have enough friends, family. There's enough people in my community that can help me raise the funds to do it. And I needed to do it. So it kind of lulled. It kind of lulled for a moment. I said I would do it, and I was waiting for all kinds of information. And then, 2024 just got even more crazy and more crazy.
yes.
And by 2025, I was feeling an imbalance in my spirit. And I was feeling a sense, I could feel a little melancholy creeping in, and I could feel sadness creeping in. And I said the same thing you said in your opening. I got to do something. I can do something. What can I do? Like, instead of just waiting, instead of
Mhm.
listening to all that's happening, what can I do? And this time when I went back to Ghana, we started. I said, let's start the library. Let's get it started because that's something I can do. It's something that I know I can do now. And so right now we're at the end of phase one, which we have a foundation and we have walls, but we have to complete. I have to still raise funds for phase two, which is going to be the electricity and the water, the piping, what they call the flow. And then phase three is going to happen by September, where they'll have just fix it up, the paint and those kinds of things. And so I'm super excited about that. And in November, I do retreat to Ghana twice a year. When we go for our retreat, this one is going to be special because we are going to celebrate the grand opening of the Children's Library in Akosombo.
Oh, fantastic. So what about the books? Where are you going to get books?
Oh my goodness, the books. So we wanted to make sure we had books in there that were not just in English, but they were in the language of the children in the area, which the primary language is Hausa. There's three primary languages, or there's so many languages in Ghana, but primarily Tree is English is the considered the official language. The Tree is the dominant language, and then there's Hausa, which is the language of that area there,
Mm.
and a few others, but though that in particular, Ebe, um, also. So what we're doing is we're finding books in Tree, in English, in Ebe, in Hausa, and the ones that we cannot find, we are going to get them done, get them made. That's part of the project too, is because we didn't want to only have books that feature other cultures, but the culture
Mhm.
there. And I said Hausa is dominant language in that area, and that's wrong. It's actually Ewe. So in that area by the Volta. And so we're going to make sure we have something in there for them to read in their mother tongue. And we have
Fantastic. That's
already
probably not many places you can go.
no,
I think.
no, we're gonna have to print them. We're gonna have to print some of the books. There are some places in actually the UK that we in our research we found that has the most books that are in the language from the I call them conquistadors from the conqueror, all the people who came and ravaged through that area. But yes, there's some that we can find, some that we're going to have published or printed, should I say, not published, but printed. And we've actually received a good number of books from my friends here in the US. Um, the other side of that, though, because a lot of people say, I want to give, and I'm like, we need money because we have to finish building this project. And we also need money for, sustainability to sustain. So we do have kind of a tier gifted collection that we're doing, the donation tier that we're doing. But with books, people don't understand when they give books, we have to also get them there. And
Yeah.
sometimes while the books are free and they're gifting us books, we have to pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to
Shipping is
get them.
not free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like, yeah. So that's what we're doing right now. We are just We're working. It's working. The children are also learning sustainability themselves. They have been doing workshops every weekend when they come on how to take the, water bottles and make furniture out of them. And
Oh, wow.
what actually they're learning environmentally what it does to our air because there they don't have a sanitation system that works that's for the people. So it's as you go along, they burn the plastic, it goes into the air, and so they're teaching them that. They're also going to be doing their own gardening and farming.
Oh,
So they're those kinds of things they're learning there, how to produce so that they can make money for the library with some of the foods that they'll be growing, peppers, tomatoes, onions, and yeah, and some of the furniture that they're going to be making and beads. They're learning beadwork from a community elder there, and also how to make baskets, basket weaving, so that they can make things. So when people come to visit the library and they purchase things, it'll all go back into the library and back into themselves.
that's so great. It's great that you're having them invest in the library. It's not like someone just coming in and dropping something on the ground and say, "Here, have at it," but it sounds like you're engaging them in the process.
Absolutely. Sustainability is a mindset first, right? Right?
Hmm.
How do we sustain this? It's nice to go, like you said, go to places and give, and then it's like that goes, and then what? And so, they're going to if they when they have the library, they're going to have more children that are going to come
Sure.
because it's a place of refuge. It's where it was really, really dear to my heart because, I grew up in South Philadelphia and I call it the concrete jungle. And I had a community-based performing arts center at the corner of my block that I prayed for. And going there was a refuge. So I know how it's a refuge for those children. I watched them leave on after the weekend is over, and they cry because it's their space where they get to learn. They're learning yoga, they're learning dance, they're learning drumming, but they're also connecting and they're expressing themselves in a safe space.
Yeah.
And so, and they're learning sustainability, they're learning how to take care of themselves and not wait on Superman or Superwoman for that matter. So it's yeah, it's a project that is so near and dear to my heart. It has revived me, it has inspired me, it has energized me, and it has shifted my whole energetic thing that was happening last year. And I am so, so grateful. It's medicine.
That's what I keep saying. Action is my antidote to despair. Whenever
Yes.
I'm despairing, I think about what can I do for my community, be it through my
Yeah,
Buy Nothing group or the community fridge or whatever. It's an immediate antidote.
it
So
is. It
I
is.
I really honor that. And also, we connected about this library. Interestingly enough, just at the time I was reading a book called The Library Book. I think
Yeah.
Susan Orlean is the author, and which is so interesting. I also recommend that. I'm going to put that in the show notes. I'm not an affiliate. It discusses the benefits of reading and having access to a space, as you said, a community space. It's a third space for people who, especially if you need to get out of the house or you need some time to be alone with your thoughts. And so that's a big benefit of what you're providing beyond just physical books and paper. Yeah.
Yes. 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 The safe spaces. The library is like, right. I know we in this age of the internet and having access to information so quickly and not having to go to the library is those memories of the library. Literally, I was telling someone that that was actually like a way for my mother to have her time to
Mhm.
herself at home when we would leave, and she also knew we were in a safe place where we could learn. And so we would walk up to the library and they had a book club and we would, express ourselves. I remember making our own costumes. It was like a space where we got to be creative, like you said, but it was also a space where we could dream and yeah, visualize. Yeah,
Right, because
visualize.
reading is a two-way street. There's just words on the page until you take it into your imagination and imagine the people and the places. And so it's unlike a screen, which is just feeding to you.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And it was definitely it was a place of refuge again. It was this, quiet space,
Hmm.
with all of these. I think when I used to look at the books, I used to think the little worlds, little planets you can go into.
And with all of the trends of book banning around, it's really it's almost a radical act now to pick up a book and say, no, I'm going to read the book. I'm gonna,
So
I'm going to
radical.
think my own
Um,
thoughts. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Radical and also a reminder that we have agency,
Hmm.
right? There's a reminder there that you might ban the books from, the school. You might ban the books from, these public areas, right? But you can't ban the books from me. I can, I still can bring these in my home. My home can become a library for so many, right?
Hmm.
So I began to put my books out around folks and just have them around the spaces and my bathrooms. In every room, there's books. Out on my patio, there's books. And I have a little name and sticker on them. It's almost like my little personal library. You can borrow this, but you must bring it back. You must return it, and people do. They take them and they read them and they bring them back.
Yeah, I have a little free library in my yard, and
Yeah,
it just makes me happy to be able to share books.
absolutely.
It's like offering a trip down imagination lane with every page, you know. It's just something uplifting when the world seems bleak and anti-information and anti-thinking, independent thought. It's
Yes, yes, it does. It does. So I'm with you on that for sure. And back to you, like you said, you that I saw that actually. I saw that write up the suggestion in your newsletter about that book for library, and it just stirred up the whole. And I said, "This
exactly.
is it.
That's what started this conversation. Books.
Yep,
That's what
this is
books
it.
do.
This is it." It was like right on point. Yeah, it made me think of that African proverb that, about elders when the elder passes, the elder dies, transitions. Um, it's like a library has
Yeah.
burned down, right? Because there's wealth of information.
Wow,
And
that's
so,
powerful.
yeah,
Hmm.
right. The
Hmm.
library is in some essence here in the US, the libraries are elder.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And
So,
these
what's one piece of advice you would give someone who looks around at what's happening in the world right now and wants to do something, but it just feels like it's just too depressing to even know where to start?
I am a self-empathy educator, um, where I have my own specific technique in using nonviolent communication um, and there's a pathway that's in my wellness practices to get to the space where you figure out your need. And so the first thing I suggest people do is when you're feeling that way is to just pause, take a beat, and get in touch with your breath. Just inhale your breath and hold it for a second and then exhale it out. And with that inhaling and that exhaling, just begin to just get present, like right here in this moment. And then the next step is really take an inventory of how you feel at the moment. So if you're feeling hopelessness, if you're feeling sadness, what that feeling actually is, right? Um, I feel sad, I feel hopeless, I feel angry, right? Really making that observation that this when with all of this is happening, or when I hear this, or when I'm watching this TV, or when I'm doing whatever, um, I feel these things, and then tapping into how you want to feel.
Hmm.
When I think about my world, when I open my eyes, when I look at TV, when I whatever it is, I check in on what's happening in the universe, in this world. I want to feel motivated, inspired, joy. I want to feel peace. What do I need in order to feel that? that's what I did. I said, what do I need? And I came to what you came to. I need action. I need to do the thing that I can do, the thing that I actually I can have some agency and some control and some here where that I know I can do with my hands, that I know I can do with my
Mhm.
resources, that I know I can do with my time. Um, and 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 that's how I got to my knees. So I need to do it, and I need to do it now.
That's great. Thank you. Is there anything else you would like us to know about the library or supporting what you do?
Oh, we would love anybody who's interested in donating. We are collecting resources, and we're collecting monies. Any way you would like to, we have every form of way of receiving payment that you could think of. I shared a link tree with you, that you can share with your audience. Uh, we have some tiers you can get, anywhere. Of course, you can give any amount of money, but we have tiers of a low gift tier starting at 50 to 75 to 150 to 250 and 500. Those are where your name will be placed somewhere there at the Land of Peace. The 250 is on one of in one of the areas, and then the $500 donations are on a plaque that actually is being a monument that's being placed there to
If someone
acknowledge.
comes on one of your Ghana retreats, would they get to see the library?
They are, yes, this year. Well, that's going to be a new addition for sure to our retreats. We usually take people there anyway, so yes, they're going to be there. We're going to do like I said, our grand opening in November at a retreat. But yes, it's absolutely a part of now, woven into our retreat.
And what
With
happens on one of your retreats?
Oh my goodness, we do have an amazing um I want to call it montage of Ghana's textiles and textures. And on our retreat, you go and you explore the city and the cultural experience. You have a reflective piece where we go to the slave dungeons and reclaim and go through the door of no return and return. There's another area, the last bath we visit. So, but also while we're doing these tours, throughout the tours, we're offering healing modalities. We're offering yoga or during the daytime sunrise or moonlight yoga. We're offering movement and dance. We're offering opportunities for you to connect with nature with your hands into the ground. We're going to the oceans. We're going to the river. We're going to where the ocean and the river meet.
Oh,
And so,
that
yeah, so you
sounds
get
so
to explore, yes, all
beautiful.
these, yes, all these different textures while you're there, and the textures of the land, the culture, and the textures of the people, which is what makes Ghana uh, special. Is it has all those different flavors.
That's
And so,
fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, Tanita, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I really appreciate hearing about your exciting project. I know you have a lot of energy, and I know you because I used to take some Afro funk dance classes with you. So I'm so happy to see you channeling that energy into something so positive. So thank you for the time.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And yes, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this, to share it. Thank you so much.
And if you enjoyed this conversation, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to hear from more community change makers. You can also read about more groups in my book, Madness on the Brink of Eco-Apocalypse. I will include all of Tanita's links below. And finally, if you have a group you'd recommend for this conversation series, please be sure to message me. We want to give a voice to all who are caring for people, plants, and critters. And because we sure can't wait for the government, the megacorps, or the oligarchs to do it for us. We are here to save ourselves.